a driver's licence and a handbag.
No. I've given you all of
And you're going to keep giving until I say stop, got it?
Where do you think I can get a
I don't
driver's
care
license?
where you get it. Just make sure the birth date on it isn't 1950 or something. Don't want to make me too old now, do we?
What do you want it for?
That's my business. All you've got to do is give it to me and then forget it.
But look,
okay?
I thought I heard something. Hello, Mater? Oh, Pippa.
Come on, the jug's boiling. Make the bloody coffee. You can make one for me, too. Oh, that's right. You don't have coffee at night, do you? AM coffee and PM tea.
If I get the sack because of epilepsy, I'll never get another job, right?
Yes.
I can't let that happen. And apart from anything else, it could ruin our relationship. So I'm going to toss it in.
What on earth do you mean?
I'm going to resign, love. I'm going to resign from Wentworth.
But surely there must be some other way. We can't just give up like that. You'd be sacrificing your whole future.
No, I've made up my mind. I can't see any other way out.
But it's not just your future, Mervyn. It's mine, too. You're not on your own anymore.
No, you've done enough already. I shouldn't have got you involved in the first place.
But I am involved. I'm involved in everything you do. Perhaps if we talked to Patterson, explained the position.
We'll be wasting our time.
Well, what about Nora Flynn? Perhaps she might be able to do something.
She got that much influence.
Oh, I don't know. But it's worth a try, isn't it?
Why should she help me?
The women like you, Mervyn. You've got more friends than you realise. I'll talk to her tomorrow. If anyone can stop Patterson, it's Flynn. She must. You'll see.
What's wrong? What happened? All of you get back to yourself.
Well, what's the matter with Daphne? She's scalded a hun. Everything's under control.
What happened? She poured bottled water all over herself. Come on, but it wasn't me. It was one that called for help.
Daphne, you've got to let Mrs. Slattery get you to Sister Hall. Now, come on, love. Daphne.
She's crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
Look at the things that she's done ever since we've come from Bucks.
Oh, listen, be careful of that PowerPoint. That one up there gives off a bit of a blue flash sometimes.
Looks like we'll be needing all the PowerPoints we can get. What about the 2 TVs? I know, we can put them side by side so we can watch the shows in stereo. Joan, relax. Everything's going to be fine.
Oh, I told you I wouldn't be much good at this sort of thing. Listen, I know what we should do. We should organise a roster so that, you know, we can get into the swing of things. Now, for instance, I could take the bathroom every morning, but...
Joan, little details like that'll work themselves out as we go along. Just let things happen, okay?
Look, it mightn't seem like it, but I'm glad you're here.
I know. I know what we can do with the extra TV. We can put it in the bedroom so we can watch telly in bed.
Oh, but I don't watch TV in the... Oh, all right, well, I'll give you a hand with it. Right.
Come on, Willie, cut it out. She's in the infirmary, not the morgue. If you're trying to kill yourself, you don't do what she did.
That's a dreadful thing to say. You don't think she's putting it on just to upset us?
Of course not. But I don't think she's trying to kill herself either.
Oh, well, how can you say that when she nearly jumped off the roof?
Did she? I wonder. A little show of love and a promise of chicken and chips, and she was down from there in a flash. Doesn't sound like much of a suicide attempt to me.
I didn't think you were so heartless, Nora. Aren't you ashamed of
Do
yourself?
be quiet, you silly woman. I think you are being a bit hard, love.
I'm just telling you, I don't think she really wants to die. It's a cry for help.
Oh, how's Daphne?
Going to be all right, Mrs.
Slattery?
S?
She's going to be fine. Sister's keeping her in the infirmary until tomorrow. Come on, Flynn. Back to yourself.
See you both in the morning.
Yes,
Okay, good night, love.
Nora.
When's Daphne going to get some proper help?
She's already seen the psychiatrist.
She doesn't need him. She's got premenstrual syndrome, for God's sake. She needs medical help, medicine.
We're keeping an eye on her.
She's not going to sit in this cage so people can watch her and take down notes. She's a human being. She needs help.
We're doing all we can, Flynn. Now, inside.
Doing all we can. All we can. All we can. Damn it!
I must say I was relieved when Kensai went to the hotel. Suppose he thinks we're inhospitable now.
Oh, I shouldn't think so. He likes hotels. It's not a heavy romance or anything, Anne, so you don't have to treat him like a future son-in-law. We just enjoy each other's company. Well, I hope that's the way he feels. It's a little hard to be sure.
How did you two get together? I mean, he really can't speak a word of English.
We met at one of those trade fairs. I thought he was cute. He thought I was beautiful, so... that is where this came from.
How long's he planning on staying?
Oh, I don't know. I'm hoping he'll push off in a day or so.
Pippa!
Well, I've got things to do, Mater. See Jen, for instance. Do you think her new lawyer will make any difference?
Jennifer seems to think so. Must say he looked a bit down on his luck to me.
When's the soonest I can see her?
This morning, if you like. Better prepare yourself for a bit of a shock, though.
It's hard to imagine Jen surviving in a place like that. I'm sorry, Anne, you know what I mean.
I think you'll find she's doing rather better than just surviving.
Well, yes, if what you said about... Are you sure she attacked Harriet's husband?
Quite sure why.
Oh, nothing.
Pip, you're her only friend. If you doubt her innocence, you mustn't let her see it, please.
No, I know.
And see her a couple of times before you take off again. She really needs a friend.
Well, I don't know about that now. What about taking off? If things work out, I might end up staying in Australia this time.
Good.
Of course, I'll have to find work. You don't have a job going at the prison for a fabulous artist, have you?
Well, I've got some new classes going for the prisoners. You could teach them to paint.
Do you mean it? Because I wouldn't mind.
Well, I was joking, but if you're serious, mind you, the work would be voluntary.
Be fun. Painting or maybe screen printing would be more practical.
Yes, well, don't get too enthusiastic. Everything would have to be approved. And I must be off, or I won't be in a position to approve anything.
Well, give me a couple of minutes, okay? I'll come with you.
You won't be able to work, of course, Graham. They gave you something for the pain, didn't they?
Yeah.
How's the hand, love?
Oh, not too bad.
Oh, that's enough. Carry on, Mr. Slattery.
All right, Beecham, Brent, Collins, Flynn, Kennedy, Patterson and Young, you're all in the laundry this morning.
Mrs. Slattery
Yes, Flynn.
could definitely come to the laundry with us. Not much fun on her own.
Seems like a good idea.
Egbert, you'll be working in the office when you come back from the funeral, right?
Mrs. Slattery, I asked if I could be in the kitchen.
No, I'm sorry, it's all arranged.
Oh, come on, I'm sick of the laundry.
Alison, this isn't a free-for-all. Come on, the rest of you get to your work areas. Quick, smart.
Morning, Terry.
Good morning.
This is my daughter, Pippa. Pippa? Terry Malone.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Pippa's come to see Jennifer Hartley. Make it out in the grounds, would you, Terry?
Yes, Mrs. Reynolds.
And how's Graham this morning?
All right, I think. Sister Hall seems to think there'll be no complications.
Good. Been a crisis a night lately. I really wonder why I left family welfare sometimes.
I don't believe that.
Oh, Mrs. Reynolds, I've been waiting to speak to you.
Morning, sister. I believe Graham's out of hospital.
Yes, until next time. You know what we were talking about? It's been exactly a month since the last incident.
Yes, too much of a coincidence. Well, Joyce arranged yesterday for Dr. Weissman to call, so he'll be here this morning.
I'll leave it in his hands then.
I've put some visitors' passes on your desk to sign.
Right, I'll take care of them. You wait here, Pippa. Terry will look after you.
See you later.
There's an officer coming down. She'll take you out into the grounds.
Thanks a lot.
Joyce. What? You said that Nora Flynn would be in my cooking class. I was counting on it. But she's not on the list. Look.
Oh, dear, she must have changed her mind. It's too late to get her onto this morning's roster. Perhaps I could get her into the kitchen this afternoon.
It's all getting so complicated. I don't want you risking your job as well.
It's just a risk I have to take. I know you'd do the same for me if it was the other way around.
You don't know what that means to me, Joyce, but I still think I should see the governor and finish the whole thing.
No, Mervyn, you can't. You can't let a little troublemaker like Patterson ruin your whole life. I won't let you.
And when I realised he was behaving more like Aunt Harriet's solicitor than mine, I fired him. Really? What did he say? He carried on a bit, but as far as I was concerned, that was that. God, Anne was right. What's she got to do with it? Oh, nothing. She just said you changed. You mean I'm not behaving like a spineless wonder anymore? It's all right. I know that's what everyone thought. Well, I have to admit, I never thought of you sacking solicitors without batting an eyelid. There's one thing you find out fast in a place like this, Pippa. That no one's going to look after you except yourself. But you're not alone. I mean, there's Anne for a start. Really? What's that supposed to mean? Let's just say I don't think she's the friend you think she is. How can you say that? She's very concerned about you. Could have fooled me. I know she's your mother, Pippa, but let me tell you. Look, it's all right for you out there gallivanting around the world. I've never had that. I was a prisoner before they put me in here. You said so yourself.
Look, Jen, I know you've had a pretty rough time.
You soon find out who your friends are in a place like this. It doesn't take me long to count mine.
Well, I think you underestimate Anne. And me, for that matter. I mean, she's been put in a pretty difficult position.
Just don't expect me to feel sorry for her. Anyway, my new solicitor's asked to see me this morning. At least he believes in me. I just hope my so-called friends are still around when I prove I'm innocent.
Should be here in a minute.
Good. You know, I can understand those other reports now. Mind you, I'm not excusing them. You'd have to be observing the case for some time to pick the pattern.
You're pretty sure now?
Well, all of the troubles manifested themselves just a few days prior to a period. You know, the crimes, the attempted suicide, and this latest injury. Every one.
Yes, too much for coincidence.
I think so.
Come in. Thanks, Pat.
It was an accident, Mrs. Reynolds. I didn't want to be in any trouble. I didn't mean to do it. I won't do it again. No way. You're not going to send me to the nut house, are you? Please.
Now,
I don't want to
come
go
on,
to
Daphne.
the nut-
Daphne, sit down. Nothing like it's going to happen.
Everything's going to be all right. We just want to help you.
It's not what you're thinking at all. It's quite the reverse, in fact. We think you're suffering from hormonal imbalance. We talked about this before, remember? The human body operates on a very fine chemical balance, and
It's not necessary to know all the details at the moment, Daphne. The important thing is that this could be a defense against your convictions.
it could mean you're getting out of prison for good.
I'll try and explain as simply as possible.
Well, then Mrs. Reynolds said it was this PMS thing and how it does something to me. Like, it makes all my hormones go funny.
Slow down, Daphne. You're leaving us all behind.
Left a brain behind, if you ask me.
Now, don't take any notice of her, love. We understand what you mean, don't we, Willie?
Interrupt. Well, see, the thing is that when I get depressed, these chemicals, well, I think they sort of make my brain go funny and I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, geez, these creeps sprout a lot of rubbish, don't they?
Shut up, Lexi.
I'm allowed to have an opinion.
I don't think you're going to be negative.
Oh, just ignore her and she'll be quiet.
So what's going to happen now?
Well, Mrs. Reynolds said I was going to get out of Wentworth because I wasn't responsible for my actions or something.
Are you sure? Reynolds actually said that they were going to use it as a defence?
Yeah, I think so. She said a whole lot of other stuff too, but I didn't understand that.
Using some of them big three-letter words, was she, Daffy?
You see what this means?
Yes. Are you sure it'd stand up in court?
Well, they've used it as a defence in England and America. As far as I know, no one's ever used it here.
Well, if it works in England, it's got to work here.
This could make you famous, Daphne. You could be the Australian test case for PMS.
Old George was more than happy to talk to me, actually. You were right, he had quite a story to tell.
Do you think it'll help?
No, it's a bit too early to tell you. All right, let's look at the facts. He did say that there were some marks in the gravel underneath your grandmother's window. According to George, these marks could have been caused by a ladder or something similar being placed up against the wall.
But that's what Mrs. Goddard said.
Yeah, unfortunately, when he went back after your grandmother's death, the marks had all been smoothed over.
Oh, but he found the cigarette butts too. I mean, surely
hold on.
that proves the murderer did climb up to his...
It's not quite as simple as that, I'm afraid. You see, George is a gardener. He's not a forensic expert. Oh, he'll say all that in the statement, of course. But you see, even if we could show that there was somebody else in your grandmother's room the night she died, apart from yourself, it still wouldn't prove that you didn't commit the crime. especially considering the circumstances in which you were discovered. Come on, don't lose heart. It's another card up our sleeve. May not be a trump card, but at least it's something. The next job is to investigate the activities of Aunt Harriet and ours. You know, I would say they showed some indecent haste in getting rid of old George, wouldn't you?
I'm sure they're the...
Yeah, I know what you're sure of, Miss Hartley, and I agree with you. And what's more, I'm going to prove it.
You really sure you can handle work today? We can leave it till tomorrow if you don't think you can manage.
No, I'll be all right, thanks, Mrs. Reynolds. In fact,
Yes, go on.
well, it sounds really awful, but I feel so much better now it's over. Like, Mum was in a lot of pain and they let me see her, and she looked, I don't know, peaceful. There was no more pain. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Only trouble was I could see everyone looking at me and Miss Radcliffe, and I knew what they were thinking. But Mum would have wanted me there. I know she would have.
Julie, you're the only one she wanted there. Couldn't you feel that?
Well, what am I going to be doing, Mrs. Reynolds?
Well, now, you'll be in reception mostly, but there are a few things here in my office, and if you can do them, it would help me a lot. I'll show you what I mean. I thought for starters, laundry accounts. God, what a mess. Hope you're good at filing systems.
So they're all making a horrible mess of my name, the Reynolds bit, and laughing like mad. And this guy who turned out to be Kenzai's boss was cackling away, so I looked at him straight in the eye and I said, what a little butler. Oh. Yep, you do okay in the cutie stakes, love. If I wasn't so tied up with Kenzie, I might do a line with you.
You didn't.
I mean, none of them could understand a word. They just kept laughing about my name. No. Except I fell flat in my face, didn't I? And when I was leaving, he ups and says, I hope you have a wonderful time in Japan, Miss Reynolds.
Good one. Great, isn't it? Pippa, this is Joan. Joan Ferguson. Pippa Reynolds, Joan. Pippa's just been telling me the funniest story.
Hello, John. I've heard a lot about you from Anne.
Must have made for a very interesting conversation.
Pippa might be doing an art class for the women. Should be good. She's done a lot of design work. Actually, I've always wanted to know how to do screen printing. Do you think I could come?
I don't see why not.
Don't you think it'd be good, Joan?
Do something a bit more useful myself.
Anne must be through by now. Okay if I find my own way?
Must be nice to have relatives in high places. Some of us have to earn our appointments.
From what I hear, Miss Ferguson, a lot of people are looking forward to the day when you get what you've earned. And just for your information, my qualifications speak for themselves. I certainly don't need my mother's influence to get me jobs. Especially unpaid ones.
Well, I've got to say you asked for that.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it. I mean, some little hormone goes mad and all of a sudden you're not in control of yourself. You've had a rough trot, Daffy love.
Oh, you said it, Patterson.
Somebody say something? Must be my imagination.
You're hearing voices again, Collins, are you?
You don't really think they're going to let it go, do you? Bloody hell, we'd all be onto that caper. They'd have to let us all out.
She does have a point, May. I mean, I think the department would fight it.
It was their idea in the first place. Look, Rena's doing all she can to help Daffy.
You won't be able to shut the lid on it now.
I don't want to cause any trouble, Brad. Nah, don't you worry, love. You're not being any trouble.
Should have been done years ago. In fact, you'll be doing everyone a big favour.
Just the same, I think we should take out some insurance. Now, I've been thinking, if we got the story out to a newspaper, they wouldn't be able to hush it up, would they?
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
It could be difficult. I mean, we'd have to get a phone call out.
We'll talk about it later, if you know what I mean.
While we're on the subject, what about our newspaper? Our newspaper? We've forgotten all about it.
Well, of course we have. We haven't even got the press yet.
Oh, I see. We're going to leave it to the last minute, are we? No editors, no printers, no reporters. Usual last-minute panic. Is that what it's going to be like?
Oh, God, she's off again.
I'm just trying to help, May. Organisation.
It must be really complicated, I reckon, getting all that stuff written and everything. Well, we really haven't talked about it. I mean, does anybody know anything about running a newspaper? No.
Doubt it. Well, come on, let's get the ball rolling. Give us something constructive to do for a change.
Where do we start? I mean, can any of us put two words together?
Well, it's been a long time since I've written anything, but I think I'll be pretty
no,
happy
you
with
don't,
it.
madam. This is going to be done fair and square. Now, what we need is a competition. You know, everybody write an essay on if I were governor of Wentworth for a day.
Hey, come on, that's not such a bad idea.
Plasticine and paper mache next.
Oh, come on, Willie. It's a very good idea. I mean, who knows? There could be a brilliant writer among us.
That's what I meant.
Who'll be in it?
I'll have a go. Oh, except someone's going to have to help me with the spelling and stuff.
We'll all help you, Daffy.
Looks like you're all set on it then?
The Wentworth Essay Competition.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Is it okay?
Hey? Oh, yeah, just what the doctor ordered. Look, are you sure those snoops in the guardhouse change at 4:30 on the dot?
Positive. That's what it says on the timesheets.
Oh, okay, forget it. I'm just getting a little jumpy, that's all.
I understand.
Gee, they're really going to freak out when I disappear just like that, aren't they?
I still don't know how it's going to happen.
Look, it's the perfect plan. They always say the simplest plans are the best.
Yeah, but what is it?
Look, I've got my straight gear, right? Now just wait till they're changing the guard, waltz up to the guardhouse, present my visitor's pass. They think I come in just before they came on duty, and off I go.
Yeah, but aren't they going to want to know what you've been doing in
Oh,
here?
Chook, you're supposed to be the smart one around here. That's why I've got to get out just after they change over. I tell them I've been in for half an hour visiting my poor old mum.
Gee, I hope it works.
It'll work, okay. Just got to make sure I get to the kitchen before 4:30.
The kitchen?
It's part of the plan.
But the door down there's always locked. How are you going to get out?
Just leave it to me. And Jules, thanks. You're a real mate.
Alice, leave the dishes for a moment and empty the rubbish for me, please.
But you're always telling me to finish what I've started, and I've only got a few more.
Mr. Pringle asked you to do something. Now do it or you'll report to the governor.
Yeah, all right. I don't see why those other bludgers out there couldn't do it.
Jenkins.
Oh, I'm going. I'm going. What's this all about? Has something happened?
Well, yes.
Nora, I'm in a spot of bother.
What, have you had another fit or something?
No, but
No,
because...
we need your help. Mr. Pringle's being blackmailed. Want a coffee?
No, thanks.
How long are you going to keep this up?
What?
This no-speaking business. I'm not into playing games, Terry.
I'm not playing any game. I'm disappointed, that's all.
At what? Because I don't like someone at first sight?
You were rude to Pippa and you know it.
So, I don't like snobs. I'm sorry, I can't pretend.
You
I
didn't
like...
give her a chance. How would you know if she was a snob or not?
You just develop a sense about those sort of things.
Oh, really? And do I have to wait until I'm your age before I develop this sense? Sorry, I didn't mean
No, it's all right. It's true, isn't it?
No. The truth is, I was hurt by your attitude. We were just being friendly and you made it seem like something more than that. That's all it was.
Yeah, well, I didn't mean to make you feel bad. Perhaps I was jealous. And she's very attractive and much nearer your age.
Oh, age has nothing to do with it. Just trust me, please.
I do. And I'm sorry. Maybe I did overreact. Well, I'm just not used to, well, having a friend, and perhaps I'm not very good at it.
Don't worry about it. Just relax and everything will work out, believe me. It will.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, he says he's coping, but you know Dan. But he'd call you if you needed any help, wouldn't he? I don't know. Such an independent so-and-so. Oh, I can understand his reasons for leaving, but it doesn't give me much peace of mind. You're missing each other, aren't you? Yes. Yes, we are. Now, you wanted to see me? Yes, I think I saw some mail going through to the women unopened. Who was on reception this morning? Well, I'd have to check, but I think it was Joyce. Oh, well, yes, that was my next question. She all right? She looks a bit vague lately. I still think she feels a bit responsible for Dennis's leaving, but I thought she was handling a job all right. Yes, well, can you keep an eye on things anyway? If the women see we're getting lax, they could take advantage of it. Well, of course, but I don't think there's anything to worry about. Flynn seems to be handling the women without any trouble. Yes, I know, but that's no reason for us to ease off. Fair enough. Come in.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, Mrs. Reynolds. I'm having trouble with these invoices.
What sort of trouble?
Well, I've only got one invoice for this, and it's listed twice in the debit sheet.
You mean it's been paid twice?
Yes. It goes back right through the last 3 months. There's no way I can balance the books. I'm sorry, I've tried really hard.
I see, and why do you think this has happened?
Well, it looks like... I don't know. I can do a rough balance if you like and list the mistakes.
Yes, please. But that was the bill. You better do it tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Mrs. Reynolds.
And Julie, keep me informed of any other discrepancies you find, will you?
Yes.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm stock taking. What does it look like?
A bloody mess. Now, if you think I'm going to cop a charge because of your junkyard, you can forget it. Now, clean all this up.
When I've finished.
Oh, and what are these? There hasn't been any chocolates around for ages.
I traded it.
With who?
Whom? And it's none of your business.
Oh, I see. Having little secrets now, are we?
I got them from Lexi, if you must know. Now shut up and let me concentrate. May Collins, you thief!
Oh, thief, nothing. I'm tossing it out. I said I wasn't wearing a charge because of you, and I mean it.
You know perfectly well what I'm talking about. You were quite right when you said I couldn't trust you. After all this time, you stooped to this.
I beg your pardon?
If you wanted the bath pearls, why didn't you ask? I'm not an unreasonable person. We could have worked something out.
What bloody bath pearls?
Now, don't add lying to your list of credits. I never thought I'd be sharing with a common thief.
How dare you? As if I'd steal any of that useless junk.
May, I saw you looking at them last week.
You think I took... Well, that does it.
What's going on? That's my stuff.
Yes, it is, and I want to know what you're doing with it.
That's my business.
Not anymore, it isn't.
You bloody dobber!
Julie didn't dob anyone. In fact, she was trying to cover for you. Go for a walk, Julie.
But I
Now, please. Now then, you've got a bit of explaining to do.
Says who?
You blackmail Merv into getting you that stuff. I haven't finished with you yet.
I've got a right to escape if I want to.
Sit down. I won't say it twice. It's bad enough going over the top without talking to me. But picking on Merv, a guy who's never harmed anyone, that's different.
I didn't hurt him.
You threatened to expose his epilepsy problem. How long do you think he'd keep his job once that got around?
That's not my problem, it's his. Anyway, it wasn't as if I was lying about him.
Don't push it, Lexi. I know what I'd like to do to you, but I won't. I'll leave it to the council.
Oh, big deal. Wasn't my fault anyhow. It's his fault for keeping it a secret. Anyway, I reckon the other women have got a right to know in case they freak out when he has another fit. The screws would like to know. You never know. I might still tell him.
You do that, and you might end up with a couple of cracked ribs and a stint in solitary.
Oh, I see. I thought I was going to be left to the council.
Well, you work it out for yourself. I can't keep my eyes on everyone. And Merv's got a lot of friends here who'd be very upset if he left. So you just better pray he stays and work. And no one finds out about it. Ever.
I've got nothing to say. Anyway, I don't have to answer to you lot.
Wrong, and you know it.
If you've tried to do an injustice to someone, dear, it's our job to punish you.
Well, did you try and blackmail Mervyn or not?
Just got him to get a few things I needed, that's all.
By threatening him.
I don't think she really meant the threat, did you, Lex?
Well, did you?
What's the point? You lot have already made up your minds.
You're hardly endearing yourself.
Did you ever consider the trouble Mervyn would have got into if he'd been caught with those goods?
But he wasn't caught.
You forced him into a dangerous situation.
It would have been all right. The freak's not into searching blokes.
The point is you forced him to smuggle those goods in.
At least she didn't force him to steal them.
Well, I don't know what the big deal is. The kid wants to escape to use the only person who could help her. Seems fair to me.
It's the principle, Alice.
Whose principle?
The council's. It's our job to protect individuals from harassment of any kind. If we're efficient in our office, we'll thereby avoid bashings within these confines.
Talk English, will ya?
The point is that no one's been hurt, and I don't think Lexi would have hurt Merv. She just was acting out of desperation.
Yes, dear, but the poor man's probably been through mental torment.
Come on, let's get on with it. We'll be locked up soon. The question we have to answer is, should Lexi be punished for blackmailing a friend? I think Mervyn comes under that category, don't you?
Yes.
Now, mark your papers and pass them along.
You really should have told me about that chocolate, dear. I feel like an accomplice now.
Then give it back.
OK, Lexi Patterson. It's the decision of the council that you be punished for what you did against Mervyn Pringle. Will you go by the council ruling?
Oh, why should I? Yeah, righto.
I suppose we're really passing the buck, but I do have confidence in Nora. I know she'll take care of things. Mervyn? Oh, come on, love. Everything will be all right. If anyone can handle Patterson, it's Nora, you'll see.
No, we shouldn't have asked her. It's all my fault for being so stupid and not telling the governor in the first place.
But Mervyn...
No, it's not fair. All right, I've had my medication checked out and everything's okay. But it's still possible for me to have a seizure at any time. I could be endangering other people.
Now you're being melodramatic.
No, I'm not. What if one of the prisoners grabs a knife and attacks someone when I'm not in control?
Chances of that happening are pretty remote.
But it's still a possibility. And if anything happened to you because of it, well, I'd never forgive myself.
But it's not going to happen. Stop that sort of talk.
I'm not going to let it. I've been thinking of moving to the country for a long time. There's a great demand for good restaurants in some of the smaller towns. I could do very well there.
But Mervyn...
And you always said that you enjoy country life, and it would be the answer to all our problems, wouldn't it?
Now, come on, I'm not going to eat you. I just want to talk.
You're angry at me, though.
No, I'm not. Why didn't you want Lexi punished? You were the only one who voted no.
I couldn't, Nora. She's my friend.
And you think hurting Mervyn the way she did was all right?
No. I never knew she was doing that.
Didn't you wonder where she was getting the stuff from?
I nicked the gate pass. You know that, don't you?
It doesn't take much working out.
She's my friend, Nora. You're supposed to help your friends. Look, I wouldn't hurt anyone, but if she asked me again, I'd do it.
Yeah, I know. But remember, be careful. Lexi isn't as thoughtful as you are. She could get you into a lot of trouble.
Okay.
Oh, you better put this back where it belongs before Mrs. Reynolds finds out it's missing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. But remember, whatever you and Lexi do affects all of us, not just yourself. Okay?
Okay.
Every time he tried to kiss me, the seat collapsed and he ended up flat on his back. Luckily, the evening was saved by the police.
What?
It appears we'd parked near a factory, so they thought we were going to break in.
What happened?
Well, the seat collapsed for the third time, didn't it? So they knew exactly what had been going on. Hello, hello, hello. Move along here, please.
And quite right, too. How old were you?
Oh, 17, I suppose. He must have been 19. It all seems so silly now. Especially now.
Thank you.
Well then. I'll just go and powder my nose and we'll move along home.
Sounds fine to me.
Won't be a tick.
Everything satisfactory, I hope?
Oh, yes, very nice, thank you.
Would you like some more coffee or port?
No, no thanks.
I trust your daughter was satisfied with the meal?
Yes. We'll have the bill now, thank you.
Certainly, madam.
Oh, what's the matter, love?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, come on. You don't expect me to believe that. It's what I said before, isn't it, about moving to the country?
Oh, no, no. Well, yes. I do like picnics and drives in the country, but But to live there, Mervyn, oh, I just couldn't.
Why not?
Well, I'm a city person. I just couldn't live in the country because, well, I get hay fever. I'm allergic to cows, chooks and horses. And those mice plagues they have all the time would terrify me. Oh, no, I'd be no good in the country, Mervyn.
Why didn't you say something before instead of getting upset like this?
I didn't want to upset you. I love my job at the prison. But if you don't think you can cope, then I'll leave and we'll go somewhere else.
You can't. You wouldn't be happy.
You know you're more important to me than anything else, don't you?
Sweetheart.
Do we really have to leave Wentworth, Mervyn?
Of course not. I don't know how we'll go, but we'll fight it through to the finish, eh?
I'm so happy.
Oh, bloody hell!
Are you all right?
No.
Do you want some help?
Oh, no one in here would help me.
That's not true.
Yeah? I haven't got a friend in this place. Great bloody help you turned out to be. Why'd you have to hand the stuff over to Flynn the moment she asked for it?
She'd already found it by the time I got here.
Yeah, well, you could have told her it was yours or something.
And how am I going to explain the gate pass?
Well, you could have tried to cover for me.
I did.
Oh, forget it. You're as bad as the rest of them. No one in here gives a damn about me, so I'm not going to give a damn about anyone else from now on. All my life I've had to take care of myself, so I reckon nothing's changed. I was stupid to think I had anyone who cared. Well, that's it. I never needed anyone, and I don't need anyone now. You take things too much to heart. He was only a stupid waiter, for heaven's sake.
You won't be the last one to mistake me for your mother.
So what's wrong with that? You wouldn't be the only mother with an ugly daughter. Oh, come on. We were having such a good time before this happened. Why get upset? I'm not embarrassed to be in your company.
Aren't you?
No.
Then why haven't you told your parents about us?
Subjects never come up, that's all. I'd tell them if they asked. It's just not something you can throw into general conversation, is it? You don't believe me, do you? Well, say something, for God's sake.
I think we should end this now before we both get hurt.
But why? Just because some idiot made a crack about our age difference?
Oh, there's more differences than that.
There are in all relationships. It's what we feel for each other that counts, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Then stop seeing problems that aren't there. Please.
Morning, Terry.
Good morning, Mrs. Reynolds. How are you today?
Fine, thanks. You?
Fine, thank you. I don't suppose you're carrying any concealed weapons?
I'd rather you checked everyone who comes in.
I'm sorry, I just feel embarrassed having to search my boss, that's all.
Don't be, it's procedure. And would you also make sure that all the prisoners' mails checked today? Some's been going through without even being opened.
But I check everything that comes through.
I'm not saying you're responsible. Just keep an eye on it, would you?
Yes. Before you go, sorry, can you remember if you signed 20 passes or 19 yesterday?
20, why?
Well, Bob said he was only given 19.
So you're saying a security pass may have gone missing?
Yes.
It could be a problem, couldn't it? I gave them to Meg when I'd signed them. See if she knows anything about it, would you?
Yes.
Thank you.
I don't care for your lies any longer. If my valuables offend you so much, why don't you get yourself moved to another door?
Well, why should I? It's my dorm and I like it. You get moved.
The way you're thieving things from me, I won't have anything left to move.
I told you I haven't taken any of your junk.
Where are my bath pearls?
Oh, I don't know. Why don't you get the bloody council to investigate it or something?
Floyd, you're the only one who could have taken them.
For the last time, I haven't.
Come on, you two. You'll have the screws down on us in a minute.
Well, I'm sorry, Nora, but I'm not going to stand here and be called a Peter thief by that wench.
You are being a bit hard on her, aren't you? Anyone could have snuck in and taken them.
Of course, anyone who's determined to make my life an ongoing misery.
Wouldn't it be easier for the council to solve this?
She's probably got you all bribed.
What's going on? Get up and get on with your roster duties, Patterson.
Oh, it's all right, Miss Ferguson. She just got ahead of us and didn't want to be standing round waiting.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, you better get on with it, hadn't you? And the rest of you. You'll be on a charge.
Well, I've only done the balance sheets for the last 2 months, but that's the discrepancy amount so far.
Quite a substantial sum, isn't it?
Do you want me to go further back?
See if you can pinpoint when these dual payments started, would you?
Right.
Oh, and would you take these files and put them away for me, please? I must say I'm impressed at the amount of work they're doing in the laundry at the moment. I suppose I've got Nora to thank for that.
Yeah, Nora's got a way of getting people to do what she wants them to.
Maybe she can go further with the schooling. Or you, for that matter. We could organise education courses, you know.
Yeah, maybe. Did you know that Nora's organised an essay writing competition to see who'd be best to work on the paper?
No, I didn't. It's a very good idea.
Yeah, that way nobody feels left out.
Yes, I suspect Nora's got the psychology of being top dog well and truly worked out already.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really clumsy.
Don't worry, I'll give you a hand.
Does this belong in this file or the other one?
Neither, actually, but I'm glad you found it. Thank you very much.
It's all right.
What's the matter?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, what's wrong?
Well, look at us. Here we are playing the big heavies in uniform, and when we go home, it's so different.
Shh, Terry.
There's no one around.
Oh, you never know.
Don't be so paranoid.
I'm not. It's just that... Well, it doesn't hurt to be careful.
Yes, Joan, if anyone does find out, we're just living together, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh. Well, it's just that... Oh, you know.
All right, back to playing the heavies.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes? You must be Harriet Formby.
Mrs. Formby?
Pity. I had fond hopes of calling you Auntie Harriet. Do sit down, Mrs. Formby.
I prefer to stand.
Oh, whatever makes you happiest.
I'm not here to chat, Mr. Simmons. You phoned me with some supposed information concerning my mother. I'm here to clear up any misunderstanding you seem to have.
Misunderstanding?
My mother was killed by that vicious ex-niece of mine, and I won't have people like yourself probing around in my private life, trying to prove otherwise.
Auntie Harriet, we both know that Jenny is innocent. I might have taken your word for it once, but not anymore.
What are you talking about? Of course she's guilty. And I won't have you using your fancy legal trickery to get her off. She's guilty and she deserves everything that she gets.
She deserves to be set free. You see, I had a word with Mrs. Hartley's old gardener, George. George gave me some amazing facts. You see, he... By the way, did you know that he's not very fond of you, your husband? I wonder why that is.
George is a stupid old man. My mother should have sacked him years ago. I wouldn't believe a word that he said.
Well, let's hope the jury go along with you. You see, George told me that... Well, he told me things that could make life very difficult for you and yours.
Mr. Simmons, I could see that you're a very loyal and honest worker. But you'll never make your fortune that way. I mean, this office.
Disgusting.
It doesn't have to be that way.
That's life.
How much would it cost for you to forget that you ever saw George?
What are you doing out of the laundry, Flynn?
Looking for Willie. She's been gone for ages. I thought I'd see what the hold-up was.
Well, actually, I was just coming to find out why the kitchen laundry hadn't been picked up.
She should have been there half an hour ago.
You better have a search. You do these dorms and I'll start on the next corridor.
Right.
Mrs. Morris, quick!
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again. But that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines. sun and rain are prisoners too. When morning comes around, last night I dreamed we were together, sharing all the love we'd known, till I had to face the nightmare of waking up alone. On the inside the roses grow, they don't mind the stony ground, but the roses